Hi guys, my name is Kat, or Catechus Flinch, and welcome back to my channel. Is that a decent enough intro? I don't know, I'm still new to YouTube and I'm still figuring things out, but that's what we have to work with right now, so we're gonna roll with it. Anyway, are you an artist struggling with studying and practicing art? Yeah, same. It's a huge roadblock for many artists, especially when the experts are always saying that you should be practicing art every day if you want to see improvements. I've tried everything, keeping notebooks and drawing daily, doing monthly art challenges I see on Instagram, and even taking online drawing classes in attempts to become a better artist. Nothing ever really stuck for me, though. That is, until I discovered how blending my passion for art along with my passion for streaming opened up an entirely new world for me. Maybe it'll help you out too, so stick around and hang out for a little bit. I'd like to talk a little bit about how streaming my art has made my art improve after only a few months of doing art streams. If you don't already know, I stream both art and games on my Twitch channel, and I've recently made the choice to add a second art night into my weekly schedule. Streaming my art has already, within the span of a few months, helped me improve in ways I didn't expect, and I'd like to share how. The biggest obstacle I've had to overcome in working on my art is consistent practice. When I was a kid, school and new skills often came fairly easy to me fairly quickly. I was labeled a quote-unquote gifted child and was often placed in accelerated classes. While this was great when I knew the material, it became a huge hurdle for me later in life. When a skill didn't immediately come easy to me, I'd get frustrated because I never learned how to study or practice to become better, and I'd just give up. This translated directly into my art. I could draw a few things well, and I would be praised for them, but when I struggled with things like anatomy, color theory, and perspective, I didn't know the right way to go about studying these fundamentals. I would get aggravated because I couldn't immediately execute these skills, and I'd give up and fall back on just drawing the same way I knew I could do well. As you can imagine, this is incredibly limiting when you want to create art for a living. You can't spend a career drawing when you're constantly hiding your OC's hands behind their backs because you never learned how to draw them, am I right? After years of trial and error, I discovered streaming, and I accidentally stumbled into a routine of practice that actually works really well for me. I take streaming very seriously, no matter what the content I'm putting out is on a given day. I have a schedule I stick to, and I found a great community that I get to hang out with a couple times a week that supports me and encourages me. By adding regular art streams into this strict streaming schedule, I've given myself assigned time to sit down and practice. Sometimes I do viewer requests, sometimes we doodle, and sometimes we make hand-lettered references to some of our favorite vines. You can see in the background of this particular stream that I did a value study before getting silly and playing with some hand-lettering techniques to wind down the evening. Let me know if you want to see a time-lapse of that study, by the way, because it was definitely a fun learning process. Having an allotted weekly time to practice art basically took the option of blowing practicing off the table for me. Add in the fact that I have a community I'm trying to build, letting my viewers down isn't an option. I've made it an obligation for me, and I feel proud when I fulfill that obligation every week. I figure if I can't motivate myself to do it for me, I can certainly motivate myself to do it for my community. Streaming my art also means that practicing doesn't have to be a lonely activity. I get to interact with chat the entire time, ask for feedback, get suggestions and critiques in the moment, and it adds more perspective to whatever it is that I'm trying to draw. Sometimes a viewer will point out that something looks a little wonky or stupid in my piece, and I'll only notice it after they've said something, which is great because it gets me used to looking at my art with a critical eye. It also helps that everyone in my chat is kind and encouraging with their feedback, and it makes making mistakes a whole lot less scary. We can laugh together about drawing on the wrong layers, crooked line art, and anatomy mistakes, and we can celebrate together when I've overcome a specific obstacle. I've had several streams where all I do is practice specific techniques and no finished piece actually comes out of it, but it's still productive and entertaining for everyone involved. Even if everything I draw during my stream ends up being unfinished, I never regret spending the time hanging out with chat and experimenting. When it comes down to it, streaming my art has given me a time and place to practice whatever I want when it comes to art, and I'm seeing vast improvements already, even though I've only been streaming for a few months. If you're struggling to find the energy and motivation to practice, I recommend seeing if streaming is something you might want to try. There are a ton of talented artists on Twitch you can check out for inspiration, and if you ever want to hop into my stream and give me feedback or ask questions, I'd love to have you. If you found other ways to practice that have worked for you, please let me know in the comments because I'm always looking for more ideas on improving my art. Speaking of streaming, I stream my art every Monday and Wednesday, and I play games on stream every Friday and Saturday. You can check out my specific schedule by checking out the links in the description below. I'm trying to build a fun and welcoming place for artists and gamers to come chill, and if you're a fan of art studies, indie games, and general nonsense, you might like it over there. If you've seen my video of my friend Carly trying to teach me how to play Apex Legends, then you already know how chaotic and hilarious game nights can be. Streaming has opened up an entirely new world for me, and I'm so happy I found it. That's going to be it for me today, but I hope you have a great weekend and that you're drinking lots of water. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can get to know each other better. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe, as it can really help out new content creators like myself in big ways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Love you!